everyone. I'm Aqsa Taylor, Chief Security Evangelist at Exaforce. And in today's episode, we're going to break down a latest threat campaign on GlassWorm and our security researchers team found out about. I'm going to talk straight to the source, Bleon, who was leading this research, and we'll learn how he came across it, what did he see, and what led him to the discovery that he did. Before we jump in, can you please take a moment to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. This is Bleon, Senior Security Researcher at Exaforce. Previously a researcher at Permisa, and previously before that, cybersecurity engineer on different companies in both Albania and USA. Nice to meet you, and thank you for being here.
I'm excited. So, Bleon, tell me, we have a ton of research we can talk about, but in today's episode, I want to really focus on the latest article we did on GlassWorm. Tell me, what was your thought process? How did you even come across it, and what did it lead to?
So I came across that in a LinkedIn post from my Kido Security, and where they spoke about the second coming of GlassWorm. Honestly, I had never seen that threat actor before. This seemed like a very interesting payload because it was basically just an empty JavaScript and empty payload. At first sight, if anybody was looking at that, they would have the same opinion, like, okay, what is this? Because that was the main goal that they had, just make encoded payload, which literally looks like an empty string, and then just leave it there. And to be honest, since I didn't go through their actual article before I started to look into it, I got uninterested because I thought this was probably some mistake by a threat actor. They just attempted to do something and they rushed into infecting the libraries, which is a mistake that happens. It's not that it hasn't happened. So somebody tries to infect something, they put a non-executable or very badly written malware or a payload. Again, their post, they spoke about encoded values. So after that, I decided to take a look, and both Klesti and me started to look into it, started to decode it, started to understand what the payload was doing. One thing that tripped me, or one thing that got my attention, was the fact that even though it was just a one-liner of probably 100 characters, or seemed like a one-liner with 100 characters tops, even less, probably even 50 characters payload, at the moment you copied it, your machine would immediately get overloaded. Your machine, wherever I put it, even pushing it on LLMs, it overwhelmed me. So that was the thing that tricked us into thinking, okay, this is a bit more. Turns out it was a very large payload, which upon encoding an encrypted payload and upon encrypting it had the actual malware, which again had also nested steps. But it was an interesting thing to look into. Unfortunate that it happened. Let's be honest.
I think when you started looking into it, your own URLs were blocked. You weren't able to move forward. Can you talk a little bit about to what extent you were able to deep dive into it, and what are the main findings from it?
Okay, so I'm going to get a bit technical in this. As I said, the malware in itself was nested, encoding and encrypting, and also trying to obfuscate it in order to make it as harder to achieve. The first one, as we said, was an encoding UTF-8 and 16 encoding of the payload, which made it not be parsed by a lot of systems. Effectively just looked like an empty string because none of the characters were getting parsed, even though they were literally there. After that, we had AES-256. I need to check that. If I'm not wrong, it's that. Encryption with a key there. So basically you just had to decrypt it. After that came the actual load. The loader itself was interesting because it was using Solana endpoints. And at first we thought this was just a crypto mining attempt. So hey, somebody's trying to mine using the machines. Tipped us was the fact that there was a good execution thing that we thought this was both a crypto mining and a command and control. So they are attempting to use resources on those machines and still maintain access on those machines, which is, again, something that can happen. It's not something that is beyond the realms of possibility. Looking into the code again, this was the interesting part, which I don't know if I should be praising them at this point, but yeah, give credit where credit is due, I guess.
Sure.
Each of the endpoints, each of the Solana endpoints, when requested on each of the transactions, the memo which is sort of the comment, if will, which is a string value. The memo contained URLs, so contained a base64 encoded of two parts. One was a number and the second one was a link. The number was a ranged position in which that link would be used for the payload, and each of the endpoints was actually the payload that was going to be retrieved. So basically, what they were doing was request all the transactions, get a whole list, and then going from first to last, they would get the payload was being read from the endpoints. Now, this was the part that we couldn't retrieve. So at that point, we weren't sure if the instances were taken down or we were limited. We actually tried it with different instances, different IPs, different providers. Couldn't find. It's either blacklisting everybody except from some whitelisting, or they actually took everything down. So this was the part where we couldn't go any further. I don't know if somebody else has done it so far. I was looking around. I haven't seen anybody actually go as deep, but at that point, that would be the actual payload that would get executed. That payload then would get pushed into the loader, and the loader would run it, and then they would have on it.
Okay, so this was an interesting campaign. If anyone has gone beyond this, if you're a threat researcher and want to share knowledge, we would love to collaborate with you. Please reach out to us and we will feature you in our next Substack. If you want to be anonymously attributed, we're happy to do that as well, but do reach out and let's share notes. Now, that brings me, Bleon, to something exciting that's upcoming from you, which is your research on OpenFlow and all its different variations. There is so much content already out there about OpenFlow. What are you really targeting with this upcoming piece?
So this will be a simple, not so technical piece. I will add a couple of technical ideas I Google, somebody who can abuse mostly. So this is what I'm targeting mostly to. But my idea is how to more securely implement your OpenFlow AI assistant. Seeing it even online and from even our clients, I see that OpenFlow is being used. It's actually a very good tool. So let's start with that. I'm not trying to attack. That, in my opinion, is a very good, very important tool to use. But I see people implementing that wrong. It's either they install the gateway on the machine, give it permissions, do not control what is being installed or what is what they themselves install or what others can access. Do not check what skills they are implementing, what plugins there. We have a lot of cases. We see a lot of cases, especially on the first couple of weeks, if I'm not wrong, or even 3 weeks of being released. We saw a lot of abuses through it. We are currently seeing a lot of malicious skills. So all of them are methods that an attacker can abuse and compromise your machine. Now, that can lead to compromising of your machine, that can lead to compromising of an infrastructure overall. Both should actually be aware of all of those risks. Another thing is I see, and I can't say that I'm the only one that saw that, but I see a lot of people talk about some of the insecurity or some of the ways on how to make that better. I do not see people actually implementing. So you have logging. How many people actually look at the logs for OpenFlow? You have auditing, constant security audits. How many people actually looking into those? So my article will go through that. Initially, OpenFlow. Then we have other OpenFlow-like AI assistants. We have the new one released from NVIDIA, which supposedly is implemented in a more secure way. I say supposedly because I haven't finished with testing that and I don't know. I can't say for certain that is better, not because I know that is not. We also have other variants written by other people not related to OpenFlow, but just got that as an idea and they're implementing. So the research video, the research is going through each one of those and then trying to look at how you can make that, you can configure it wrongly, which can lead to security risks, and how you can configure that better, especially now that we are seeing, the continuation of the AI assistant with AWS Lightsail and DigitalOcean Droplets, which they themselves offer gateways pre-configured and the OpenFlow pre-installed and pre-configured, which allow you to do the next configuration. All of those will be part of a research that I'm working on and that I want to release.
Nice. So essentially, this can be kind of like a one-on-one guide for someone not too technical, not too overview. It's kind of like, hey, you've probably heard about OpenFlow already. And if you have, here are some guidelines and here's some things that you need to know, especially if you are planning to use it in near term. So it kind of combines guardrails, best practices, what is OpenFlow, what are some AI bots that are using it, and also probably some news on what are some major platforms that are going to introduce them as part of their platform so that people are aware and have more awareness around this. This is a very interesting piece, and I'm so excited and looking forward to this. And to our viewers, if you have not already subscribed to our Substack, you definitely should. Go to the Force Multiplier Substack or check out our link in the LinkedIn post to subscribe and be in the loop on all the fun articles that Bleon will be working on. You can also find how to automatically protect yourself against a lot of these different campaigns, like visibility into your GitHub pull requests or SaaS applications and other things by using Exaforce. Thank you again, Bleon. This has been a very fun conversation, and I can't wait to have more of these as we have more articles come.
Thank you very much for having me.